Okay, here we go. So first off, a little context on what's going on with Mr. Tony Khan. The AEW owner and CEO, and I guess you can call him the general manager as well, Tony Khan sent out a number of tweets this morning within the last 2.5 hours or so, 2.5, 3 hours, stating that a lot of the anti-AEW online community aren't real individuals, and it's a staff of, quote, army bots. He stated that, actually, let's just pull up the tweet. Let's read them. Let's just pull up the tweets and let's read what they have to say. Because I don't even, we're going to go deep dive here. We got this. Let's make these a little bigger. The first tweet Tony Khan sent out at 10:18 a.m. Friday morning Pacific time was, an independent study has confirmed that much of the staunch, and I hope I said that right, staunch AEW online community aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of accounts plus an army of bots to signal boost them. Look closely. These aren't real people. Who'd pay for such a widely expensive thing? We continue this by saying research this one yourselves. Your internet detectives thrive in these situations. Speaking of wild, you won't want to miss John Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta on Rampage. And I heard that match was absolutely amazing. And he also sent out another tweet stating that their boiler room staff is going to be working overtime on Friday, and I love it. And I'm like, really? Really? And I think there was one other from Tony as well. Let's just go to his profile. Go all tweets. I think he sent out one more. There's something about 80%. Here it is. Ever wonder why so much of the activity of these accounts is retweets and replies? Like, who actually has 80% of their activity as straight up retweets? I mean, a lot of the people that comment on my stuff, they're never posting their own individual tweets. They're all retweets, a lot of them. So maybe they're bots, but maybe they're not, because they're retweets and replies. But they're genuine replies. They're not just like some canned hash replies. Because I get this all the time where someone will comment on something that I post, and I'll be like, what? You saying that doesn't make any sense. And so I'll go to their profile and like, if they've been saying this about other people, have they been saying this on other situations? And they have. And it's similar stuff. But it's not, how do I explain this? It seems like a real response. So I don't know where Tony's coming from. Apparently he's got more info to come, as I think it was Brian Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Radio, that this was a legit like research thing by Tony Khan, and that he may have more evidence to put out there as far as this all goes. But here's my first question. Why did Tony Khan even feel that he had to pay for this kind of a research anyways? Why did Tony Khan need to feel that he had to go out there and prove that they're bots coming at AEW online? What did he see that goes, I need to kind of prove something here, or try to prove something here? I don't understand that. And then for him to post, like, he's been getting a little backlash. Like, let's pull up some of the responses. I'm just going to read some of these. Some of these responses from the fans. Like, some of these responses don't sound like, oh, those are bots. Those are retweets and replies. Like, we have one here from @HeelBalor. Actually, Tony, it's called criticism, and people are allowed to give that or have different opinions on things in the world. Nobody is a, quote, bot or whatever when giving an opinion, regardless of if it's good or bad. And other people, let's see. Other responses to Tony Khan here. It says, what about all the accounts that attack fans when they critique the smallest thing? Are those bots? Hashtag, or quote, pro AEW accounts? Who is running those, Tony? It's like, okay, there you go. If you say something bad about AEW, you got a litany of AEW fans coming after you. And it's like, how are those all bots? Are those bots too? And then the one thing, people think that he's insinuating this is all done by WWE. The whole quote of, Their boiler room staff is going to be working overtime on Friday. A lot of people are like, oh, is that a shot at WWE? We have another tweet here I wanted to read. Where did it go? Now I lost it. Where it says, Tony going hard today. I mean, a lot of them do say and retweet the exact same thing with their first name bunch of numbers accounts. I mean, we do see a lot of those. So, I mean, yeah. This person also says, responding to the last one about the bunch of numbers, says, have you noticed that 90% of these staunch anti-AEW accounts do not have real profile pictures up of themselves nor anywhere on their profile? They all hide behind pics and WWE wrestlers and anime superhero characters. They refuse to show who they really are. See, there's a thing there. A lot of these bots don't have real pictures of themselves. They're AEW wrestlers and WWE wrestlers and anime characters and stuff, but it's like, that doesn't mean they're fake. Doesn't mean they're bots. A lot of people want to comment on things online and feel included, but don't want to put themselves out there fully, don't want their face out there. So that one's kind of a reach. Looking at some more stuff here. We have an interesting one from Jason Barsky. He says, who? Someone who understands underdogs. I'm not accusing anyone, but you should understand the parallels. I once launched a radio station that was aggressive and edgy. We went head to head with a legendary station who never really had competition. We were cool. They weren't. Expectations were that we'd take some ratings from them and, quote, if we weren't lucky, be a fifth place station. In less than a year, we were number one. Next day, corporate said we won and told me to get rid of the aggressive, edgy stuff I had noticed, but I had to follow orders. The results? We lost our identity. Ratings started to slide. That's when I asked, what if someone protested us and tried to shut us down? I was told we would ignore it. I want to talk about it and fight back. Why? My plan was create and protest. I wanted to stir up and create a reason for us to remain aggressive and edgy because I knew listeners would fight for that. If that never happened, this was before social media, but still got squashed, and I think they thought I was crazy. So who'd pay to stir shit up? Maybe a person who wants to keep a passionate fan base energized. I suggest it was you, but not to be negative. I'd think it was a genius, but not sure. I think it was genius, but not sure why you'd admit to it. Going to the top is the fun part. Staying there is the challenge. So he's stating that maybe Tony Khan paid for these bots themselves and then is now out there saying, look at all these bots. Look at all these bots coming at us to make it seem like you guys are still, what's the word I'm looking for? The alternative, but that's not the right word. I get what this guy's trying to say. Basically saying Tony Khan may have paid for the bots himself to stir stuff up. Now, if you don't listen to, it's a country music radio show syndicated through iHeartRadio called The Bobby Bones Show. It used to be an alternative radio program based out of Austin, Texas. They then got moved to country music into Nashville, Tennessee. Well, when Bones and his crew first moved to Nashville, maybe a couple months in, he actually paid for a billboard that said, "Go away, Bobby Bones," making it seem like the locals did not like him. The locals did not want him there in Nashville and did not want him on their country music station, taking away from who used to be there. Well, Bones years later wrote a book and admitted he actually paid for and had the billboard created himself to stir up controversy. We have seen people do this in the past. You have things put in place to make it seem like people are targeting against you, trying to break you, trying to put you down, when in the end, it's really just you trying to stir up controversy and bring more eyes to you. I'm not saying that's what Tony Khan is doing here, but I've seen incidents in the past, well, not the incidents, but I've seen examples in the past of this happening and actually working out for the person that did it. The Bobby Bones one, he's the biggest name in country music radio. Like I said, when he first moved to Nashville, I want to say it was like 2013, not long after, he had a billboard created secretly that said, "Go away, Bobby Bones," in a prominent part of Nashville that everybody could see it. And all the rumors started swirling. Who did that? Why would somebody do that? Was that another radio station trying to run him out of town? This. And eventually, years later, he wrote his book and admitted, I did it, to stir up controversy, to get people talking, to maybe boost my ratings. So maybe Tony did do it. I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't, but it would be interesting.